So my daughter had her first gymnastics competition, which was last weekend. Drove to St. Augustine, World Golf Village. Wake up at 5:30 a.m. It was a 8 o'clock event. Hour drive from my house. And I have to admit, it was pretty cool. Well organized, awesome. And there's different levels, right, in terms of experience and talent. And my daughter's mostly a beginner. By beginner, she's been going there for 6 months, 3 times a week, 3 hours a session. She's a beginner. That's how serious it is. It's a really, really good place, and they go into competitions. So, my daughter's been doing great. Just has huge potential. She's small, strong, fast, and competitive as hell. And she's really dedicated. And those of you that have kids, sometimes your kids are all over the place where they like to do 20 different things. This is what she loves to do. And it's cool to see that she's focused. So her teacher, one of the best around, is in this region, told her, said, hey, you know what? You should do the competition. And it's your first competition. It's okay. And you're probably going to mess up or whatever, but go ahead and do it and get used to it. My daughter was like, I'm in. I'm definitely doing it, which was, really cool. I mean, you're performing for a lot of people. Now, there's 6 teams, around 6 teams, I believe, and 75 girls in total for her level. And my daughter's team, specific team, had 4 members on it. And it's similar to the Olympics, where you have 4 events. It's the vault, floor exercise, balance beam, uneven bars. And keep in mind, right, there's a ton of people in the room. It's a giant room. Think of, for those of you that attend conferences and like the main conference hall, that's how big it is. I mean, I know you probably can't remember that because we're not allowed to go outside and go to conferences still. It's changing, though. It's changing a little bit. But due to COVID, I know a lot of you, there's been really no conferences in the past 12 months. But think of something like that if you've been to it. And you're performing in front of the judges. You have music playing loud, so lots of pressure, and my daughter handled it well. And she needs to learn like the technicals, the fundamentals, things like that. Like full leg extensions, raising your arms when you finish. That's where they deduct points and they take points here and there. But she didn't mess up. I mean, she didn't fall off the beam. We saw a few girls fall off the beam, make mistakes and fall, and she didn't, which is cool. She just, she didn't forget the routine. And the only thing is she was tentative. It was her first competition. By tentative, she was really focusing on just not messing up instead of really being free. And they finished the ceremony. I think it was like an hour and a half, right? When they finished the competition. Then they have an awards ceremony where the best performers get medals. So we go to a different area, right? And the awards ceremony is almost longer than the competition, right? And there's a reason why. And here's what I'm getting to. And keep in mind, around 6 teams, 75 girls, and just those 4 events, vault, floor exercise, balance beam, right? And uneven bars. So I'm figuring, I'm a math guy. There's 4 events. That's 3 medals each, right? Gold, silver, bronze. So 12 medals. Then you have the overall combined event, right? The combined winners, which is maybe another 3 medals. That's 15. Maybe you throw in a sportsmanship, most improved. I don't know, maybe 20 medals in total. They gave out over 150 medals. 150 medals. I mean, it could have been 200. But several kids had 4 or 5 around the net, and they're calling one at a time. And I mean, there was like 20 different categories, and I didn't get it. I'm like, there's just 4 events. I mean, some girls had so many medals, they were jingling around their neck when they got up to get the next one. And it was loud. It was like, they were banging against each other because they had so many medals. I was like, I'm not joking. It was crazy. And my daughter's team, which includes 3 other girls who have done the competition before, they won, I think, 4 medals each. And my daughter just won 2 medals. I said, just 2 medals, right? What world? It's just 2 medals. 1 for 5th place, 1 for 8th place. Now, my daughter, competitive, got upset. Right? She got upset. She only won 2 medals. I was surprised she even won 1. I mean, it's her first event ever. Many of these girls have been in numerous competitions, lots of pressures. They've been training years. She's only been going for 6 months. But the bigger issue, how are you giving out like 150 plus medals? I mean, how does this promote competition? How does this prepare these girls for real life where so many of them get rewarded for mediocrity? Because having my daughter get upset because she only won 2 medals, I mean, she got up from the floor. So there were all the kids like sitting on the floor together in their teams, and she got up and then she went to sit by me because I was on the side standing up, and she had this puss on her face that I told her, get your ass back on that floor with your team right now, congratulate them, and support them. And then when we got into the car, the way home, I told her, remember that feeling. Remember that feeling that you want to do better. Because if you want to be great, if you want to be better than everyone, if you want to have 5 medals hanging from your neck, you have to work your ass off. It's what I did as a kid. It's what a lot of you did as kids. I mean, I was like the fat guy playing basketball all the time where people made fun of me. I couldn't keep up. I didn't get any trophies as a kid. And then I said, you know what? F that. I need to get better. Made it my mission to destroy everyone that made fun of me. Shot hundreds of shots a day. Rain, shine, hot, cold, 30-degree weather. Didn't matter. I lost weight, got faster, started shooting better, worked on the things that I wasn't good at to better compete with these guys. Then I started getting trophies. My team started winning a lot of championships. And that feeling of winning, especially when you put in that hard work, right? And you put in all the hard work, the dedication you put in, that feeling, you can't really describe it for anyone out there. Like just winning something, even if it's a team event or if it's like tennis and it's single or golf, the amount of work that you put in and that, you achieve that, it's a feeling you can't describe. I mean, the pride, the confidence, the will to keep pushing, get better. I remember we were in a league right across from my park, and it was one of the biggest leagues in Queens, New York. So it was across the street from my house, actually, the park, and in Ridgewood, New York. The park's called Farmers Oval. You know it. When I was a teenager, probably around 17, I started playing this league, which was, again, one of the best in Queens. And there's a team called the Wrecking Crew. And they were called the Wrecking Crew because they wrecked everybody. They destroyed everybody. I mean, their point guard was 6'3". If you don't know basketball, that's the smallest guy of the starting 5, right? They had 2 forwards that was 6'8", 6'9". The point guard used to rip me all the time. They dunked on us, beat us by 40. And our team was young, but we were driven, we were confident. It took about 3 years, but that one year we played them in the playoffs, tons of people watching. We all played great, had a couple steals, the team played awesome. Our forwards had several blocks on their big men, and we beat them. We beat them. I mean, you guys know how old I am, pushing 50 almost. I was like 2021, but I have to tell you, I still remember almost every possession of that game. It's one of the most remarkable achievements for me because, working hard with your team to beat that team, the dedication. I mean, the guys shaking our hands at the end, they gave us a lot of respect since, we were them 10 years ago, right? And they were a young team trying to make a name for themselves, and, it's like passing the torch. But, man, I still can't believe we won, that feeling. And let me tell you something about winning, because people who say winning isn't everything never won anything in their life. And it's not every single thing or everything, but winning is fun. It's awesome. It gives you confidence. It teaches you how to deal with pressure. It builds character. But this is a talk I had with my daughter on the drive home. I was just surprised how every single person who competes gets a medal at these events. I can see maybe a 4th place medal, maybe, but 8th and 9th place. I mean, we have to get out of this mentality in America. It's how we're treating our kids. And I'm not perfect. I'm guilty of some of this stuff too. But we're totally engulfed in their lives. And I don't mean like you're being a good dad, a good mom, and you're going a game. I'm talking about going over the top and making sure every single person at school they're talking to, looking up them on their social media accounts to make sure they're okay. See what they're doing every second of the day. I mean, how many of you track your kids on iPhones? You track your kids on iPhones. You call them, what are you doing over here? Why are you riding your bike on this block? You're not supposed to. I mean, we were never like that growing up. You feel bad for them when they fail, even though they're going to learn more from failing, right? And from those mistakes than winning any day of the week. That's why I cover my losers more than my winners on this podcast. That's how you're going to learn. But we have to get out of that mindset of rewarding our kids for just doing okay. And I'm not being a hard ass here. Again, I don't know all the answers, but I do know if my parents were really cool growing up, been fortunate, but if they treated me like the way we're treating our kids today, where, hey, it's okay to fail and reward them for mediocrity, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I don't even think I'd start my own company today. There's something to be said for that. And it's going on. It's getting worse. It's getting much, much worse. We're really engulfed in our kids, every single thing they do. Anyway, it's not a knock on those girls who really worked their asses off to compete and did amazing. And no knock on the families who do so much for these kids. I mean, there's a lot of dedication when you get especially if you have traveling baseball teams or basketball teams or whatever. And my wife is driving my daughter gymnastics 3 times a week. It's 45 minutes each way, and there's a 3-hour in between. She almost drives home and then goes back there to pick her up. And it's located in Georgia. I live in Florida, right? I'm right on the Georgia border, I-95 on the East Coast. But she drives to Georgia so my daughter could work with one of the best coaches in the region. And I have to tell you, she's going 3 times a week. A lot of these girls are going 5 times a week, 3 hours a day. So kudos to those parents. But we really have to rethink of how we're teaching our younger generation. Because just rewarding them for doing okay, it's not the real world, man. I mean, it's really tough out there. I went to Wall Street. It's tough. It's cutthroat. And people take what they want. You got to stand up for yourself. The battlefield. If these kids are not prepared, they're going to give up on almost everything they try and give up immediately, refuse to even compete with people who are better than them. And I'm not just talking about sports here. In college, your career, everything you do. But it needs to change. Will it? Probably not. But it does. Trust me, if it does, our kids would be much better off. They'll work harder, be more passionate about things, and definitely be more prepared to get out there in the real world, which is what we want for our kids, right? We want them to be able to succeed. That's the goal. So as parents, sometimes you can't be their friend. You have to be their parent. You have to tell them, no, you have to get out there. Again, I'm guilty of this too. We like to spoil our kids, but man, it is really, really over the top now. Really over the top.